Well, I thought that, I'm trying to find the parchment paper, but what is this? Something in here that feels a little like, what could that be, you know? Oh, it was one of those silicone spatulas. Them shits feel a little phallic. Today, we're gonna make some gluten-free vegan peanut butter miso cookies. On Instagram, I asked everybody, of the two options, peanut butter chocolate chip versus oatmeal peanut butter, which one do you want? People catch feelings. People had vehemently either hate peanut butter or love peanut butter. People vehemently hate oatmeal or love oatmeal. People vehemently hate chocolate or they love the chocolate. I just had to make an executive decision and just do kind of whatever the hell I wanted. Because I'm gonna make somebody mad no matter what I make. So I just decided to flip this whole thing on its head and make a miso peanut butter cookie. So that's what we're doing. Now this is also a risk. I never made this recipe before. In fact, I just finished writing it. This could be a complete and total fail. We've got some oat flour here. This cookie is 100% oat flour. One of the most problematic things to me about a lot of gluten-free stuff, and I know it's necessary, gluten-free police, please don't come after me. But every time I read a recipe and it's like, half a cup arrowroot and half a cup tapioca and 3/4 cup almond and 2 tablespoons of coconut and 1 tablespoon of brown rice and then a teaspoon of white rice and then a little bit of cassava flour and like I'm good. Like you're good. I don't want to put you through that. I don't want to put myself through that. So we're just using regular old oat flour. Like I said, we're gonna hope this works out. We are gonna use This is a chia egg. This is 1 tablespoon of chia seeds and 3 tablespoons of water. This is a legit ass chia egg. Do you see how this ain't even wanting to come out? So that's what happens when you let your chia egg sit and develop. Magic. So right in. I'm actually gonna do this all in one bowl. So I know that when people are baking, there's the dry ingredients with the wet ingredients. My thing is this, if I can't make it all in one bowl, I don't want to give you guys the recipe because I want you all to be able to, no matter what your situation is, no matter how advanced or how beginner you are, I want you to be able to just cook this up in one bowl and it all work out for you. So we've got 2 tablespoons of whatever kind of milk you got. I'm using coconut milk because it's what I got. Right in. Cute. I'm also using 3 tablespoons of soft vegan butter. Here's what I'll tell you. Some vegan butters will make your cookie dough split. The Earth Balance brand, I've never had this brand split on me before. It's never happened, but there are some vegan butters that will split your dough, they'll split pastry. Not ideal, okay? So when doing vegan stuff, just keep that in mind. Also, you could just say screw the whole vegan butter thing and just use coconut oil. That is a possibility, okay? So we're gonna try to get all this in there. And like I said, you see how I'm all lazily just putting this in here, no rhyme or reason about it. This is a half a teaspoon of baking soda and a half a teaspoon of baking powder. Right in, cute. This is a 1/3 cup of coconut sugar. Right in, bye. This is vanilla extract, bye. This is the coveted miso. You might be wondering, so why is your miso so dark? Because I'm using adzuki bean miso because I think it is richer and sweeter and sort of earthier and goes really well with peanut butter. But if all you have is just regular sweet rice miso, that is fine. If all you have is garbanzo bean miso, that is fine. I just personally really love the flavor of adzuki bean miso. It is delicious to me. It's scrumptious. Sorry. And then we're going in with the peanut butter. Here, right in. Now, my preference is crunchy, but I'll be honest, I didn't want to open up a new jar of that crunchy peanut butter. I didn't want to do that, okay? So, I didn't. And then we're gonna go in with salt because you salt everything, but particular peanut butter salt, yum, yum. Now, I have tested an iteration, a version of a peanut butter cookie using date sugar instead of coconut sugar. Fabulous. Making things vegan, I think sometimes we do this thing where we compare it to the regular cookie. We gotta stop doing that. Gluten-free vegan stuff is its own stuff. You gotta like let it be its own thing. Because if you compare a gluten-free vegan peanut butter cookie to a regular full fat, full butter, full egg cookie, I mean, that's gonna win every time. You know what I mean? It's just gonna be better. Like white sugar, delicious. It's gonna win every time. So just let this be its own thing. Let this exist as in its own land and its own planet. You know what I mean? This is the gluten-free vegan world that we're living in. Really get in there because you don't want to have big globs of miso, right? All right, so I'm actually gonna go in with my hands, kind of get this party started. Now, I had mentioned before, and I've actually mentioned quite a few times, that it sometimes is in your best interest to let your cookie dough rest. Let it rest. And preferably you wanna do that in the refrigerator because what starts to happen is things start to get real melty and get real flat, and then what it does is it makes your cookies spread. We not trying to have no spreadable, spread out cookies. We not trying to have that. So we gonna get this baby nice and round here, and we gonna put this in the fridge for 20 minutes. And after 20 minutes, we're gonna get it out. We're gonna form our little cookie balls. Love a cookie ball. Love it. I love it. I mean, any kind of ball is really good at my house. Here's the thing. If you wanted to do a ice cream, we love ice cream. We're getting into ice cream season, y'all. What you do is you take this dough, see it's vegan, so you can eat as much of it raw as you want. Do a bunch of these little guys, right? And do a whole tray of them, and then you freeze them. Ma'am. You can pop them things in your mouth, put them in ice cream, top ice cream with them. It's delicious. So that's another really great benefit to plant-based or vegan cookie dough. 20 minutes in the fridge, 10 minutes in the freezer. They're gonna be perfect. We're gonna put them in the oven. Should be preheating your oven. Your oven should be preheated for 350. These are gonna cook for anywhere from 12 to 15 minutes, but we're not gonna have to worry about that right now, right? Because we're gonna let our cookie dough rest. Stand by. Great. Okay, so we have our gluten-free vegan peanut butter miso dough here. And like I said, really important to make sure that this dough is not super melty. You want it to be pretty solid. So if you have to put it in the refrigerator for about 20 minutes or in the freezer for about 10 minutes, that's great. So I'm trying my hardest to make these exact. Again, if you were a traditionalist, you would be using a scoop and measuring these out. Those are the things that make you feel like when you're at home that you can't do this yourself. So I am trying to flip the script. I am trying to make this just as you would. So we're gonna get a fork. You know the traditional sort of peanut butter cookie vibes, right? With the fork topper. I'm not gonna go crazy with this. If you wanna go crazy, please go crazy. Do it, go wild. If when you do this, your fork sticks, that could mean that whatever cookie dough you're working with doesn't have enough fat in it, which isn't our favorite. Fat is really helpful for a cookie. Not too much fat though, because then your cookies will melt and they'll split and it'll be a disaster. But a little like lubricating, give your fork a little lube, basically, and that can help it out. It's probably not gonna happen to you with a nut-based cookie because, I mean, nuts are fatty, so it's probably not gonna happen. But if it does, just know you get your fork a little bit wet and that'll help. These are about medium-sized cookies. I'd say this is about 15 or 16 cookies overall. So in the oven, 350 degrees for about 13 to 16 minutes. Don't get mad at me if when you did it, it was 17 minutes or when you did it was 11 minutes. Like every oven is different. You want them a little bit crunchy, a little bit chewy, you know the vibes. In the oven. Press cut, press stop. Check out our cookies. Listen, there are a lot of things that measure success when you're testing out a new cookie recipe. It was a risk for me to do a whole video of a recipe I hadn't made yet, right? This essentially is a recipe video of me testing out a recipe. A recipe video of me testing out? This essentially is a video of me testing out a recipe. And so far it's come out really good. The dough is really tasty. It rolled out gorgeously. It baked up beautiful. I mean, these are pretty stunning. I mean, these are gorgeous. The only thing I'd say that I maybe should have done is I should have pressed them out a little flatter, because I like a sort of flatter cookie. They actually puffed up more than I thought they would, which is pretty impressive. Super like tender on the inside. Oh my God, super delicious, wow. So good, super tender on the inside, wow. Like they definitely don't taste like a vegan cookie. These are incredible. The miso, fire. It is so good. You don't taste it in a general sense. Like when you think miso in your head, that's not what you're gonna taste. You really taste sort of something in the back, like, ooh, what is that? Ooh, what's that song? That's kind of the vibes. I think it should be 350 degrees for 20 minutes. I think you should press them out a little flatter. I think if I could do it again, I would definitely have made them thinner and cook them for a little bit longer, because I like a sort of crispier cookie. But if you like a chewy moisture, this is like moisture, this is not a dry cookie, then do less time. If you like when they're super moist and they're almost like falling apart moist cookie, do 15 minutes. This is a vegan recipe, so you're perfectly safe to eat this cookie dough totally raw. This was a success. I am very happy with this. So I can confirm that after testing this recipe, it works, it's scrumptious in a few different iterations, whether you cook them for 350 at 15 minutes, 350 for 20 minutes, whether you press them down really, really thin, make them really, really thick. Delicious.